Let's begin what's trending, focusing on reactions to the confrontation by FCT Minister Wike, who accused Peter Obi, former Anambra State Governor, and Labour Party's 2023 presidential candidate of diverting state funds. The allegations came during the inauguration of the road project in Abuja. Wike spoke in response to Peter Obi's criticisms of dilapidated schools in the FCT, describing Peter Obi as the social media president. Wike alleged that Obi diverted money meant to be used to develop Anambra State into Fidelity Bank, where he was the highest shareholder, so as to earn profit. Wike also challenged Peter Obi to publicly compare what he did in 8 years in Anambra State with what he has accomplished so far in the FCT in just 2 years. Let's take a look.
Some people, because of politics, for example, I hear one of the social media presidential candidates went to one of the local authority area schools and was saying the government has abandoned public schools. In particular, his name is Mr. Peter Obi. It is not everything you must play politics. But let me say this. Peter Obi, you were governor for 8 years in Anambra State. If you have finished all the jobs in 8 years, nobody will be talking about developing Anambra by now. 8 years. Instead of developing Anambra, you took the money and put in the bank you have interest, Fidelity Bank. Anambra State had problems. The money was there to develop Anambra State. You only prefer profit and put the money for the development of Anambra State in the bank you have the largest share, and Anambra will be suffering. Can you really say you love this country? If I were you, why not be quiet? Enough is enough. You cannot be president of Nigeria only when you go to one IDP. Oh, I want to go for a birthday party. I want to do my birthday party in IDP camp. Who is interested in all those things? Enough is enough.
These are serious accusations, and he's saying that, who is interested in all these things? I get the kids in the IDP camps. They do care when people come and visit them. I mean, maybe that's what the FCT minister fails to understand at this point. But these are serious financial, misappropriation allegations. The burden of proof, like I always say, lies with the accuser. Well, reactions have already trailed this, and I'll take some tweets. Ugo wrote on X, I was wondering if, after ranting, Wike has gone to inspect the said school will be visited and ensure renovation starts in earnest. That's how to shut opposing voices, not by making noise and neglecting the project afterwards. Well, another ex-user wrote, Dear FCT Minister, sir, so when you were following Obi up and down like a handbag to learn from him on how he managed finances, boasting of education, upgrades, facilities, techs, power, equipping, and reforms, etc., so you could go to federal and replicate. Was he not saving money at the time? And that's the question out there. A lot of, Peter Obi's supporters, in fact, they have pulled up an old video showing where Wike acknowledged Peter Obi's performance while he was governor of Anambra State. Let's take a look.
Let me thank the people of Anambra State for giving us somebody like Peter Obi. Each time I come closer to the governor, I learn new things. New things in the sense of his commitment to his job. He's one governor that has not been distracted, irrespective of the politicking. He believes that he has a mandate to serve his people, and you can see the results of that commitment.
There you have it, Rufai. The internet never forgets. I mean, at that time, he always learns from Peter. I mean, there were so many pictures that came out of how, he really admired Peter Obi at the time. I mean, they were working together. I believe he was also Minister of Education at the time. Peter Obi donated huge sums of money as well. Go ahead, that's one of the pictures we see there.
Never. If you didn't do it, is it not the same Wike that as our last election said that Peter Obi is the hero of that election? So the question is, what changed? No, because it's an APC government now, and APC's number one problem is Peter Obi. They must attack him. And what is Peter Obi's crime? He got over 6 million votes in the last election. So they must attack him and bring him down. As an FCT minister, they told you schools are not good. The next thing, go there and fix it. Go there and fix it. In fact, that's why I want to give commendation, due commendation to my very good friend, and my able minister Umahi today. The time we brought the issue of a road not good, what did he do? He went there and he did it.
Sent information.
So on this, Minister Umahi still scores more than Wike. It's not that if I say on that, I will not still talk with you. You know me, I will talk.
Yes.
But on this, Dubai say he sent you message to me. I say I love him too. We both love each other. But you can see how politics distorts everything.
This is it.
When will Mr. Wike focus on the schools he ought to fix?
Yeah.
When will he
the pictures?
When will he focus on the questions they've been asking him about land allocation, land grab in Abuja, and properties abroad?
Security.
When will he focus on that? The next thing, he starts to make allegations. He will allegations must prove. Anyway, Mr. Wike knows how to make a lot of allegations. Hope you know. I'm sure if you don't, let me give you the facts. That Tonyeko sued him to court when he went to make allegations against Tonyeko on another TV station that was left unchecked. Tonyeko is going to sue him for 20 billion. So he will have to account. Politicians should just face what they have to do. That's just it.
Absolutely.
See, and this argument he was making, the most interesting argument I heard is the fact that if he finished doing everything, there will not be need for another development. So a government will do everything, just finish it like that. Really. Right. So what will be remaining for others to do? Mr. Wike, you have tried in your own regard in some areas. In some areas you have not tried. Focus on your work and stop saying things that are not empirical, Jari.
These are the issues.
The same man you are praising.
You were talking about the FCT and land grabbing. I'll take the story so that we can actually discuss that. Meanwhile, operators at Trinity Gardens in Maitama claim that they are being forcibly displaced. After 14 years of lawful operation, the business owners allege that the green area they developed has been reallocated to a newly incorporated company despite having proper documentation and following due process. Well, according to the operators, after green area allocations in Abuja were revoked earlier this year for vetting, they submitted all required documents, including a valid sublease agreement, updated ground rent payments, and a letter of intent from the Abuja Metropolitan Management Council. However, they discovered their original plot number was changed, with a fresh right of occupancy issued to Abuja City Works Limited, a company incorporated in June that receives its rights of occupancy in July. The operators claimed that despite taking the legal route and filing a court matter, they received a 24-hour quick notice this week, resulting in 68 staff members being displaced. Now let's listen to a mother of one of the business owners who's also a widow.
There's no job, and I set up a job for my children, and something like this will just come up someday, demolish millions of naira here. No notice was given. Nobody told. They didn't tell us anything. No, and at least if you're coming to discuss somebody something, there should be a dialogue. There should be a round center table. For me, all I know, the God of the widows, the God of the fatherless. If Wike is drinking water, that water Wike is drinking, he is drinking the anger of the Lord forever and forever.
That is a really sad woman, you can tell. A widow, she's invested so much money. And you know, these operators, they raise critical questions, and I'll read some of their questions. They ask, why would a validly leased property still under agreement be reallocated? Two, they said, why would an active business employing Nigerians be demolished without court resolution? Because they said the matter is in court. These allegations suggest the land was not taken for public use but for private interest. I mean, these are the sort of questions that they're asking. They're talking about due process. I mean, Ayo, if a matter is in court at this point, why would they demolish the properties? That's
a very good question. Yeah. And unfortunately, Mr. Nyesom Wike's tenure as FCT minister has been plagued with a lot of accusations in this manner. And accusations of land grabbing in fact. It was very sad to see that woman, and she speaks to a number of people in Abuja who have unfortunately undergone that fate. When you say a number of things are in question. Number one, the respect for the rule of law. Number two, investor confidence. And this is what we always talk about when issues like this come to the fore. We keep saying, oh, Nigerians in diaspora, come back home, come and invest, come and buy land. We ask foreign investors as well to come in and come and buy land. The president is going from trip to trip trying to invite people to come and invest in Nigeria. But when they see trends like this, whereby investments can in one day, without notice, as those who have alleged have said, can be destroyed, it's very concerning. It's worrying, and I believe it's high time the minister is called to question as to why these things have happened. Yes, in the past, whether during his media rally or questions raised to him, he has tried to justify his actions, but the justification does not hold water, especially as the matter is still in court, number one. Number two, due process was not followed. Yes. So it's time for his principal to call into account and ask that why are there so many accusations around potential land grabbing by him himself? And then what does this position mean for potential investors. Oji, there's some parts in Nigeria now that the people are saying they will not touch with a pole when it comes to investing because they are not sure what would happen to their investment overnight, and that's very worrying. We must provide an enabling environment for investors to be confident enough that their investments are safe.
Yes,
and it's not happening in Abuja at the moment. So we need a clarification.
Response, from the FCT Housing Authority as well to regards to this allegation of land grabbing and of course displacement of people that have worked years. All right. Meanwhile, in Lagos, officials of the Kick Against Indiscipline Task Force arrested Nollywood actress and philanthropist Sarah Martins while she was cooking for charity on the street Maiden. The visibly distraught actress alleged she was harassed and injured during the encounter, with hot oil spilling on her hand during a scuffle as she attempted to distribute free meals to the less privileged. The Lagos state government, through an official statement, confirmed that the operation was part of an enforcement drive to maintain order and keep the area clean. The government stated that cooking on a public road median violates safety regulations, justifying the actress's arrest and the seizure of her equipment.
It is not accepted. Oh yeah, madam.
Give me your phone, go live. Somebody should go live. Don't worry. Record this for me. Record this. Please record this.
Well, the actress, I hope that she's fine. Rufai, you were asking who wants to eat the food that is on. I think she's been doing this for a while. If you follow her on her Instagram, she does it for charity.
No, but
and she cooks right there.
Audrey,
but
if you are going to do charity, remember that human beings have dignity.
Yes, so those are some of the questions that
open space for people. I mean,
yes. In any way, the incident has sparked a widespread debate online regarding the balance between humanitarian efforts and maintaining public order. While government's position on safety regulations and environmental orderliness is understandable, questions arise about the approach to enforcement, especially when dealing with charitable activities. And Bimbai, this is the question that I'd like to ask. And like I said, she's been doing it for a while. Was she warned? Did she have adequate notice? I know that she's trying to do charity, but you can see that it's not clean. I mean, that for me, the first time I saw the video, I was actually appalled where she was cooking, in the middle of the street. But people sell food on the streets as well. And what happens to those people that sell actual food on the streets as well?
Oji, there are a number of issues happening here. The first is that good intentions do not take away the rule of law, which is that there are rules and regulations. If you do want to set up a stand somewhere to cook for charity, you apply to the relevant authorities, you get a permit to be where you need to be so that they can also ensure that you're not obstructing traffic, there are so many considerations, environmental regulations as well. So it's unfortunate that good intentions mixed with ignorance, unfortunately, ignorance does not cover for your good intentions. There are rules and regulations. You're dealing with food, you're dealing with people. Now there's that side of it. Then on the other side of it, there's the undue abuse of force by the task force. Because if you've been around when the task force comes around to bundle people up, whether it be the ones who are selling food on the side of the road, the ones selling fruits and so forth, it's very unsightly. It's very difficult to watch because they are bundled up in a very inhumane way. If you see the task force truck coming, the way people scatter and run because they're terrified. Of course, they have their own goods that they're trying to preserve, but also they're manhandled. So I think that we need to figure out how to engage when it comes to enforcing the rule of law, because you find that in most instances we're either too lenient or we're too aggressive. It takes me back to the issue that happened around, remember the Ibom Air and how the lady was handled and so forth. So if the enforcement agency, or even when they are within their rights to enforce, how do we go about it? You can't manhandle. Now hot oil has spilt on her. This isn't a crime that is punishable by being burnt, scalded by hot oil. They could have just done it in an orderly way. Now, last but not least, I heard the lady saying somebody should go live. This obsession with attention needs to come to an end. everything cannot be about going live. We cannot switch on ring light for every issue that happens. We can't, because it now begs the question, what is her real cause? Was it really charity, or was it popularity? Was it a publicity stunt? Was it truly charity from her heart, or was it just a way to try and get popularity?
Yeah, those are the questions. Like I said, she's been posting these videos for a while, right? And I'd like to take a comment from Tokumbo Wahab. He posted a response to this video on X, and I'll read just an excerpt of it. He wrote, while the Lagos state government deeply appreciates the spirit of philanthropy and community support demonstrated by many residents, such initiatives must be carried out in compliance with the state's extant laws to ensure public safety, environmental protection, and urban order. And that's the urge from the Lagos state government. Please, there is no discouragement in charity work. We cannot discourage charity work, but it has to be done according to the law, and it has to be safe. Well, I hope that, I did see a video of the lady going to a spa to get her hand healed. I hope that she gets healed really quickly.